All right, we're getting into 20 kooky ideas that can make your camp better, that we're gonna try and go as fast as we can. Some ideas that are simple, they might work for you, they might not, but hopefully you can take something and then use it. We're going fast, we're gonna go 20 of them, so I better get into it. 5 program things. The first one is what we call downtown stomping ground at camp. Basically, it's the epicenter of our camp, and we set up like it's a free play space, a whole bunch of different places that kids can wander between, but they're supervised the whole time. So there's a supervision aspect to what's going on, like a zone defense, so kids can go between it, but they have that autonomy and that choice to choose how to spend their time.
Downtown Stomping Ground is a space in the middle of our camp where kids can move freely from one activity to another. It includes our adventure playground, our Gaga pit, our Magic and Legos tent, our maker space for arts and crafts, and then our grove with some hammocks to hang out.
As you saw in Downtown Stomping Ground, 2 of the things we talked about, 1, an adventure playground. Here's a video.
Maybe you can get one of the little prongs and
Attach a string to the fabric so that it was like...
Yeah. Okay. So...
During the video, what you're seeing is kids playing with hammers, nails, saws, things like that. The idea is that if we can give kids a chance to be exposed to risk, to be able to mitigate their own risk, but in a safe space, then that helps them be productive in the future, be able to kind of take risks in reasonable ways, because we're all taking risks every day, and we need to give kids a chance to be able to do that. And this is one way that we can do that at camp in a relatively safe way. Something that's interesting about adventure playgrounds is that as they're all over the world, mostly in Europe, but it turns out that when kids are in adventure playgrounds, they actually have less injuries than when they're in kind of the standard plastic playgrounds, because they know that they're engaging in risky activity, so therefore they know how to mitigate it for themselves, to kind of deal with it in different ways. Second thing you saw in there is a makerspace.
Camp Kentucky plans to convert our crafts den into a makerspace, a place to unlock for kids the idea that they can do, make, and be what they want.
A makerspace is a place where kids are free to engage in meaningful, self-chosen work.
The makerspace will promote autonomy by allowing kids to choose their materials and projects.
The makerspace will promote community by helping kids feel like their ideas are heard and supported by caring mentors.
The makerspace will promote competence by providing the experience of having an idea and learning how to make it a reality.
So what do we need?
To have a successful makerspace, we need tons of materials to allow kids to fully and creatively express themselves.
Many of these supplies are common items you may have around your house that we will use in uncommon ways.
If you are interested in donating, please check out our makerspace wish list.
Okay, so that's Downtown Stomping Ground, Adventure Playgrounds, and Makerspace. I want to talk about outrageous activities. Every hour we run a bunch of different activities. They're choice-based, kids can opt into them. And we wanted to be able to level them up. We wanted them to be silly, we wanted them to be fun. They kind of look like this. Outrageous activities. So the outrageous activities can be things like going to have tea with the queen, making music videos, things like that. But the idea is that you take a silly idea and you let kids go on a quest with counselors to do those kind of silly things, to create those moments that are silly, that are magical. And because they're choice-based, in our schedule, we can make them a little bit more specific. We can make them so that kids go on these quests to do Minecraft stuff or whatever's popular at the time. And if I don't like Minecraft, I don't have to go on that quest. I know our friends at Camp Gray run something that is similar, but each cabin on Wednesday nights go out on a quest that's designed specifically for that cabin, and it's imaginative, it's silly, it's fun.
Do today? Book. Where's for Amanda? I don't know. Let's go call her.
Please leave us alone! We don't want you! We hate you, fans! Get out of our life! Out of
level this up now for night programs, and our night programs are something like this. And what the night programs are these games that are leveled up silly versions of Capture the Flag or whatever, where we're in costume, we're going wild. You might do some of these things. One of the things that we do, it's called Fortress. It's really simple. You get broken up into different groups. Our groups, we let the kids choose to go with a counselor. In that counselor group, they can go out, they get a bucket of sponges, and the goal is to be the team that comes back with the most tennis balls. They go out and they have sponge battles, they bring back tennis balls. You can find more about night programs that we run and download a whole bunch of them at thesummercampsociety.com/free stuff. Just put your email in there and there's a ton of night programs, including the write-up for Fortress that I just recommended. The thing about Fortress and outrageous activities is they're a lot more fun when there's costumes and they're silly and it's easy to engage with them, right? So we dedicate a little shed at camp to be our costume room. If you don't have this, it's a really easy way to level up your program. Kids can go in, get into costume. Those are the ideas about program. Next, I want to talk about social media stuff that's easy to do and fun and silly that can make social media more engaging and more fun for your families. First, we run a Day of Giving every year. We stole this from lots of different colleges. You can go see, if you search Day of Giving fundraiser, you'll see tons of opportunities that people are doing stuff. This is a video we made of me being silly. Things are getting dumped on me when I'm excited. But the idea is that we bring everything into one day on social media. We try and flood people's feeds and ask for them to donate and make it silly and fun and engaging. You can see all of our stuff if you go to any of our social medias and search Day of Giving, but we try and make it as easy as possible for people to give on Venmo, PayPal, whatever they've got. And in the past, we've raised between $10,000 and $60,000 all in one day for a small nonprofit. That's been huge for us. 2, Staff Appreciation Week. Just like the Day of Giving, we try and shorten things into kind of events. So Staff Appreciation Week, we've run Restorative Justice Week, we've run Day of Giving, or we've run Arts Fest Week. But the idea is that in a short period of a condensed time, we blast everything about something we're trying to do. And in Staff Appreciation Week, we just thank staff and we use it as a recruiting tool to try and bring our current staff back and encourage them to go out and invite their friends. But it's all short content, 1 week. Everything's packed into that. The third thing about social media that we do is sometimes we just let our staff or campers take over Instagram. Instagram takeovers are a great way for different people to engage and bring in new audience that we don't normally have, and to get different faces. People are sick of seeing me on our social media.
Your postcard from St. Louis, it was nice of you.
This video is going on, and it's a vlog of us going on a staff recruiting trip. What we find is that, like Gary Vee says, it's better to document than create. It's really hard for me to stand here and come up with things to say and blah, blah, blah. But if I'm going to do something and I can just have somebody record what's happening, then I'm already doing the hard part, and recording then is easy. So when we go to conferences, when we go and do recruiting trips, when we do things, we just try and make simple videos of what's actually happening so that people can see what we're up to and be engaged, and it's really easy to create that content. What I do is I pay someone on our staff $50, a seasonal staff member, to just take our footage and turn it into something silly and fun. Really easy, not hard. I bet you have staff that can do something really similar. We kind of along the same lines of blogging, we do a lot of blogging. The blogging mostly tends to be about either what's happening at camp, but those do an okay job, but more importantly, how can we connect what's happening in the world to the mission of what's going on at camp. That connection, I think, makes things real and makes people feel like they believe in the why of what we're doing, and then choose to send their kids to camp. Next, similar to kind of combining the blog of what we care about and the vlog, we noticed it was election season, so we made this kind of like fun stump speech about why we think decision making is important. Here's a little bit of me making a pitch.
Someday, everyone wakes up and no one tells them what to do. It might be when they move out of their parents' house, the first day of college, or it might happen tomorrow. Most kids spend most days carefully controlled and monitored to stay on track. Today, kids in Western countries like the US or the UK spend an average of only 4 hours playing outside per week. With so little play and so much grown-up controlled time, kids rarely get a chance to choose how to spend their time, to make decisions. Decision making is a skill, and we've robbed a generation of how to practice it. We've robbed a generation not because we don't care, but because we do. So much pressure on parents and caregivers to be perfect that we don't give them a chance. Let's give each other a break. Let's give our kids the space they deserve. Today, now, we need more spaces for kids to learn what it's like to make choices and become decision makers. They're going to mess up, and that's okay. We need more adventure playgrounds, free choice options, kid-driven activities, and spaces for kids to figure out what they want. This isn't Lord of the Flies, it's the old neighborhood. Imagine a world full of kids playing at neighborhood playgrounds, reading and learning with librarians, or swimming with friends at summer camp. We need to shift the way we think about young people from constantly needing to be coddled or controlled to being trusted in appropriate ways to make reasonable decisions. We learn how to make decisions by making them, not by following direction. Our kids deserve a chance to practice. Let's create space for kids to learn how to become radically empathetic decision makers.
Okay. You know how at camp we're only there for a short period of time and then we need to use all of the content, anything that we've created from that week to kind of tell the story of camp for the rest of the year? What we noticed is we needed more photos, we needed more videos. Everything online is becoming so much more important that we have great images, great videos, those kind of things. So instead of paying a fancy photographer a lot of money, and those people are great and they can do a really great job, what we did is we partnered with our local photojournalism department. They let us come in, buy their students pizza, and tell the story of why it's important to come out and tell a story, engage with kids, those kind of things. And we get a lot of freshmen and sophomores in that department to come out and be our staff during the summer. They take amazing photos, and for the cost of 3 staff members, we get infinite photos and videos that we can use for the rest of the year. That cost of 3 staff members for the summer is dramatically less than paying just one really awesome photographer, and we have a lot more footage that's not quite as awesome, but you can dig through. They take really great photos, and we're really appreciative of kind of the hard work they do. Last, we launched this, kind of transitioned from some in-person events into some digital events. Here's what we do for Be Kind Tuesdays. The idea of Be Kind Tuesday is how can we engage with different partners in our community to spread the word of Stomping Ground without us being the main character of the story. We're there to narrate what's going on, we're getting the exposure, but we're really borrowing the audience of a local brewery, and 2, with other nonprofits that are out there trying to do awesome stuff for camp in the Rochester community. And that makes a huge difference for us to be able to then partner with those organizations to bring more kids to camp, to run different days, or to just be involved in their events. And it's really easy, simple podcast. Check them out. Thank you so much. That's a bunch of kooky ideas that you can use, simple, easy stuff for program and social media to make things easier for your camp.